Waheguru, Satanam, Satanam, Waheguru, Waheguru. Satnam. Satnam. Yasu Tikanis Kalispera. This is Gypsy Jules, Julie Jules, out here in Santorini, Greece. And we're in the traditional, beautiful village of Emporio. Emporio, to tell you a little bit about this village, it's one of the most inhabited typically by the traditional Greeks. So it's not one of the villages in Santorini where there's a lot of tourists. A lot of the locals live here. Emporio, Greece, and Santorini, it was established in the 15th century, and right now we're sitting at the castle overlooking the Aegean Sea, which is part of the Kyklades Islands. Kyklades actually is a word for circle, and if you had an aerial view of all of these islands around Santorini, there's Naxos, Ia, and many other islands, it's shaped in the form of a circle. Now, Santorini is actually built on the erupted rocks of a volcano. And the volcanoes are mostly in the water, so you don't usually see most of the volcano tops, but the entire city was built up on the rocks of these volcanoes. And today, as I mentioned, we're sitting in the center of Emporio, and I'm sitting at the castle. So we'll take you along the castle and show you a little bit of this beautiful building. Now, the castle was where the traditional Greeks would come and sell their products. Some of the products that were sold here were their vegetables, and because the land was built on this volcanic ground, the ground is full of minerals, and the vegetables that are grown very well here are eggplant, which I love. We call that melanzana in Greek. There's some beans that are grown here. Tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, are very well a big product of this island. And as mentioned, the Greeks would sell their products here in the center of this castle. So the castle, Emporio, would actually means meeting place. It's the central marketplace, actually. Another interesting aspect of this castle is that now the Greeks were this land was constantly invaded. At the time, it wasn't the Greeks, it was the Venetians living here, and the pirates were constantly invading them. So the castle was a source of protection. And I'll take you through the narrow walkways, too. They built this village, but the pathways are extremely narrow. And the reason in doing so is so that they could protect themselves from the armies of the pirates as they were coming in, because with a narrow pathway you can't get a lot of people fighting together. So it was just an easy way to keep the invaders out. So as you can see too, many of these homes, as we walk through the pathway, are built inside the rocks. Whitewashed stones, that's the typical idyllic building of Santorini, the whitewashed stone homes, the traditional blue doorways, the blue fences, and the blue domes. And we'll come down some of these cute little narrow walkways. Now, some of the other villages in Santorini are overrun with tourists, but Emporio is one of the quieter villages. An amazing place to come here and meditate, to just soak up the essence and the tradition of the ancient Greek vibe. It's been one of my favorite places to just tune into nature, tune into spirit, and tune into my ancestors, as my family is Greek. And just to show you a little bit, imagine trying to move your furniture in these little homes, right? So the way that they would gather their products through, and still do many times, through these narrow walkways is through donkeys and mules. So in walking through these streets, you might at times come across the donkeys and mules. And we're going to have a cup of coffee soon, so I'll bring you in a little bit to a traditional Greek cafe. And we'll show you how the Greek coffee is made. And a little bit of the tradition of this beautiful place. It's one of my favorite islands in Greece. I've been to Mykonos, to Naxos, to Ios, to Hydra, and I've been on islands all across the world. I've been living in Thailand on an island called Koh Phangan. And each and every one of these islands and these magical lands that I've been journeying through have a different essence, a different vibration, a different feeling and invocation to spirit, and every one of them are unique to themselves, and this island is certainly one of that, and it's been truly a blessed journey here in Santorini. And I'll invite you more to show you more of Santorini as I travel through for the next few days while I'm still here on the island. Maybe show you a little bit more of the villages and some of the viewpoints, and even some of the tavernas and some of the Greek people, and give you a little taste of what it's like to be on the beautiful Greek islands in summer here in Santorini. So we'll check in a little bit later. Thanks for watching, and we'll come into the coffee taverna place in just a few minutes.